Good evening. We've played the game. We didn't break the rules. We've played it cool. And do you know what? I think maybe they haven't had that extra drink today. It's 8 p.m. UK time. It's 9 p.m. Central European time. You are watching ESC Fan TV. After the party is over. Yes, we gave our panelists not one, not two, not three, not four, but 6.5 days to get over their Eurovision hangovers. And joining me, I have a panel of guests ready to dissect what actually happened in Malmö last week. Joining us as always, we have I'm surrounded by the two golden couples of ESC Fan TV. So over this side, we have Ian and Donna. Good evening.
Good evening.
Hello.
Yes, we survived it somehow.
It was a challenge at some points, wasn't it? It was a real challenge. I should have drunk more. Also joining us, we've got Phil and Michelle.
Hello.
Hello there.
I can't even remember the result now. I don't know what happened.
Well, that's good because that'll give you something fresh to talk about. Also joining us from the Netherlands, we've got the lovely Nick. Good evening, Nick.
Good evening. Welcome. Happy to be here. And my psychologist says hello too. Hi.
Hey, lovely. And also joining us, rhyming with Nick, it's got to be Mick. Good evening, Mick.
Good evening, everybody. Oh my pearls! What's a Eurovision?
Oh, it's yeah. This is going to take a while to process, isn't it? And then also joining us from at Vision Tees, which I'm sure has an offer on at some point soon, where you can get all your cut price merchandise. I hear certain T-shirts are going cheap, but it's the lovely Sean.
25% off only until tonight, I believe. It finishes tonight. So anyway, hi everybody. So if those two are the two golden couples, well, am I the golden shower? Oh no, that's something else, isn't it? Oh, sorry. Thanks for having me on. I'm surprised you do.
Do you know what? There were so many comments, but so little time. Right, guys, we're going to work our way through this. Do you know what? The first thing we're going to do, I think, the easiest thing to do, is we're going to go straight to the bottom. Now, this was our final results scoreboard. As we can see, setting a record or continuing their record, poor old Norway there, propping it up in 25th place, along with Austria just ahead of it. Poor Colleen, but hopefully she's still raving, and the lovely Slovenia. Let's remind ourselves of these performances and see if they actually deserved such a rough ride in the vote last week. There we go. Let's start with Mick. Mick, start us off.
Yeah.
What went wrong?
What went wrong? Well, to be honest, I didn't know what went wrong with Norway because I expected a lot, but not finishing them last place. I thought the singing was excellent. The staging was superb. They were on the roll. I don't know if I actually don't know what went wrong. The song might not be your cup of tea, but it was extraordinary enough to stand out for some. It wasn't a bland, beige song. So, no, I couldn't tell you what went wrong with that. With Austria, though, whatever, I think it was the lack of vocal. She was clearly lip syncing to her own back sound. So it was, to me, it was all substance with little, or all star without a bit of substance. So I think that got that killer off. Plus, there were so many bops this year, and then you have to choose what is better for your taste. I think the other, especially especially Georgia, and I think Cyprus were a bit more up there than Austria, according to the voters. And Slovenia, actually, I did predict them to be around the 20th until 25th place. Yeah. And that has nothing to do with the quality of the song, but I felt that it was a bit of inaccessible to the main audience. So yeah, that's my opinion.
Thanks for starting us off with some great points there. I'm going to have to go to Sean because we've got a comment in the chat room from Elliot, and good evening to Elliot as well. It says, surprised by Norway, Kino Stams won't let us hear the end of it. Slovenia, I had last moment I saw there between Croatia and Switzerland, but as someone who is a Kano aficionado, what could Norway do?
Saying Kano. I mean, it was. I know. Was I feeling a little bit gleeful when Norway came last? Maybe. Because...
Well, I'd just like to say that when they did come last, I've never seen Sean look so happy in all his life. He ran around the house, ran into the other room, screaming, going, yes, he was going, justice for Kano, is how Sean reacted to it.
Yeah, I thought I was pretty subdued, in all fairness.
As someone who was actually there, Sean, I'm not sure your recollection of events tallies with everyone else.
I'm blaming the gin and the vodka and the
rum
and your personality.
Oh, wow! What a bitch! We'll put a bowl of milk down for Nick.
Love you.
But I mean, if I'm being honest, it was just wailing noise. It really was. It just came across as being wailing noise to me, and I don't think it was very appealing at all. Sorry. Slovenia, Raven, Veronica. It's a great song, don't get me wrong, but it was just a bit seedy because the dancers were wearing nothing but bare flesh-coloured underwear, and she was wearing something that was completely see-through. And if you look at the results this year, I don't think that went down very well, because the entries that were scantily clad, shall we say, didn't do very well at all. So, yeah.
Smart was clearly out, and I'd like to go to Ian and Donna on this, because obviously Slovenia, very risque performance, and they wore flesh-coloured suits. Now, I would, and you come back at me for this, because this is a point of view I would take, is that one of the problems is that, yes, it was risque, yes, they had flesh-coloured suits on, but in actual fact, those flesh-coloured suits weren't actually that very flattering either, because you could tell they were flesh-coloured suits, and it just looked like they'd forgotten to put half their clothes on when they started the performance. I don't know. Come back at me on that. What do you think?
The flesh colour stuff's fairly standard dance material. It's used a lot in ballet, theatre, musical theatre, and so on. So that using your flesh coloured stuff to cover is fairly standard. It's not, it's pretty good for dance. It's not used for telly, because part of the thing with telly is you see all the detail. When you're on the stage, it blends in much more, but with the close-up cameras, you see every detail of wrinkles and stuff in the costumes. I mean, with Selena, her costume there wasn't a lot there. There was just some quite strategic covering
that lit up, or seemed to light up later on
quite a lot.
It just looked like she got glowy bits.
I just didn't seem to gel quite well. I was quite surprised that one got through from the semi-final. I thought that would it wouldn't have got through.
I don't know. She sings very well. Her performance is good, but I don't think it connects with the story. That's the problem with that one. And Norway, sadly, lost something from the national final. I'm not really sure if it was to do with some of the atmospherics in the visuals, and her turntable didn't seem the camera angles were not quite right. There's little bits that didn't really give the atmosphere the way it did in the national final for me, which was a bit of a shame. I don't know. She didn't seem as comfortable either in her vocal. So I don't know. Austria is just, as Nick said, there's not really much lead vocal. She heavily relies on that backing so much. It just gets lost in the track.
Yeah,
really.
And even when she started to ad lib off it, it just didn't quite work.
Yeah, and that suit that she got, lovely as it was, didn't really cut it. You know, the bums are not doing it, are they, this year? Even the Spanish bums didn't really do it either.
They were,
maybe it's because they put tights on them instead of just having bare bums.
Yeah, same with Finland as well. Finland's
jockstrap
nudity didn't really click. And actually, there's two big fan favourites that
they did do a better job. I thought the camera angles did a better job than the Slovenian one. I thought the biggest problem with Slovenia is that the lighting and the the whole direction of Slovenia's entry left so little to the imagination. Not in terms of this is risque, as in we've lit this really shite, and you can actually see kind of like the trickery that we're trying to pull it off. The word amateurish would be.
Whereas Finland got it bang on.
Yeah.
You know, the clever tricks of things hidden. It's a good comedy gag.
Yeah.
Ian, they did. It was bob on. Apart from this moment. Now it's pixelated out for our viewers, but I didn't realise it happened on the night until I rewatched bits of it. It really
bits of it. You repeatedly paused it, didn't you? You paused it and paused it and paused it.
He really dropped the ball, didn't he? I think.
I think we should move on.
let's move on. Mick, you were in the arena, were you not? So, was it obvious these three were coming last?
For Norway, no, I didn't think so. I mean, Austria was a good way to finish. You know, it was a good way to round off the competition in the final, and everybody seemed to enjoy it in the arena. But yeah, the two medieval songs, as it were, you know, didn't appeal to anybody at Slovenia. I quite like the lit up clams. I might have to see if I can get a T-shirt with those on, Sean.
Oh dear.
But who was the other one? Bear with me. Slovenia, Austria.
Austria, and Norway.
Yeah. I think I like a lot of people. I think I was surprised by Slovenia qualifying. I'm glad they did, but I think overall, other than Norway, I would have put maybe Slovenia and Austria down towards the bottom there. But there's nothing wrong in the performances as such themselves. I think it's somebody's got to come last, and it's poor old Norway.
Yeah. It is true. It's their 14th last placing. Phil and Michelle, any final comments on this?
I was, like a lot of people, I was surprised by Norway, but I think to some extent it was another Fulham, and that Fulham didn't do well either, did it? In the final.
That was last, I think, as well.
That was, a similar sort of vein, a traditional folky from a certain region.
Phil informed me that they had to change the words because they had thieved it from an actual folk song, and they had to change the words so that It wasn't thievery.
It wasn't like, it wasn't an old song, because you've got to not have a release song before September, have you?
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I thought it would have done better, though, to be fair. I thought it was really good.
I was a bit surprised by Austria, but it wasn't. I know you must be gutted by Austria, Tom, because it was one of your favourites, wasn't it?
It was one of my favourites.
Oh,
I was the kiss of death for Austria this year.
It's not like you, Tom.
yeah.
I think the vocals were just too weak. Yeah, the vocals were just too weak. That's all. There's nothing scientific about it. That's just how it came across. And who else was?
Slovenia.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think if she'd have actually worn a bit more clothing, it might have done better. But like a lot of people said, I mean, I don't mind semi-naked women, but it just puts some people off, and it's probably not very good if if you're hoping to score well.
You are partial to a nude bodysuit as well. If you go back and look at the awards shows.
Oh God.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. We will leave it there. Let's just take a quick look at the chat room, and I'm going to pick out some of the comments here. What have we got? I'm going to select some. So, John, most people's 12th and 13th, no points for that. We've got I had Norway in my top 10 from Anya. Dan was shocked by Norway being last. Lee, dance show songs like Austria don't seem to do well. I was kind of expecting Austria to be like, Lee, you used to be cool. That's all I'm saying. You used to be cool. I wasn't upset by the Austrian result at all. 4 televotes. Was that it? 4 televotes. Couldn't believe it. Although, to be fair, I didn't even vote for the song in the end. I voted for Ireland and Switzerland. Who knew? Tracy had Austria and Norway quite high up. Slovenia, not so much. Neil said, I'll get this out of the way now. Everyone was robbed except the one who won. They just got lucky. And Carolyn, I thought Austria would have done much better if the televote had opened at the end of the performances. That's a good point. Maybe the televote would have been better if it had opened at the end. We'll ask the panel later. My personal view, was Norway going to come last? Oh my God, it needed to. There's one thing I don't like, people, it's wailing. Last year, what did the Spanish do? They wailed. It deserved everything it didn't get. This year, what did the Norwegians do? They wailed. Sorry, it's not for me. And I think I've already given my views on Slovenia. Colleen was robbed. Guys, let's talk about the biggest surprises and disappointments of the night for you before we look at our top 3. It's all right, Lee. I forgive you. Right. Speaking of Lee, he said, I expected Germany to come last. I'm shocked Isaac got so much love from the juries. I do understand the 13 points from the public. I thought Isaac would have got like 10 from the juries. Let's just take a quick look at this. Here are our, in actual fact, let's do our results after the jury scores. Germany's in 10th place there with 99 points. Let's start off with that, because I think, Germany were quite nervous going into this, that they were going to come last again. Who do I think is going to be sympathetic to the German song? Panel, put yourself forward. Who's sympathetic to a German song? Ian.
Yeah, I quite like this one. It was quite a friend. It's a bit middle of the road, but therefore makes it quite friendly to people. It's not. People aren't going to hate on it as much. He's a very good singer. His performance was very, very good. And the juries are scoring based on a set criteria, and you look through the song, it's quite well constructed. His vocals very good. There's a good dynamic in it. It looked great on the stage as well, in the burning house. So it ticks a lot of the boxes. It's not exceptional, so it might not garner a huge public vote. But in terms of jury stuff, you can see where it ticks the boxes for stuff they're looking for and would appreciate. So yeah, I'm quite happy that Germany got a decent result with that.
I think ultimately his voice was what won it for him. Like when we were just saying Slovenia and Austria are a little bit weak, or a very, you either like it or you don't. his voice is really lovely to listen to, and it's very powerful, and he's soft when he needs to be, he's strong when he needs to be, and he carries it well. So the whole setting the mood was staged well as well. So Germany had hit on something that worked in this instance, and I'm really glad for Isaac.
Yeah, and our chat room is pretty much agreeing that about his voice being a superb singer.
I think another strength of the German entry this year is that the thing that made it stand out for me personally, no introduction, it's just like boom, straight in. And I think that was a real plus point because there was none of this faffing around, straight in, the voice is the star, that's what we're doing. And I think that, it's quite good. There's a comment by Dan there, if we could just get that up on the screen. Germany deserved the result they got. His voice reminds me of Rag and Bone Man. The song itself is very British too. So, yeah. Quite like that. Right. Guys, over to you. You need to tell me, what were your biggest surprises and or disappointments? Who wants to go first? Phil and Michelle, let's go to you.
Biggest disappointment, Estonia, of course.
Yes, that's mine as well.
Obviously,
20th, not deserved.
Yeah,
the juries are deluded.
I think that deserved a bit better. I was also disappointed with Looktelk not doing as well. Only came 14th. I thought that deserved more. I like that song. It was good.
I liked it as well, but I think it was only a couple of places higher it should have been.
So maybe just a little bit too subdued.
I was surprised at Luxembourg being 13.
Yeah.
I didn't have it in my top 20, to be fair. It was, there's nothing special. I was also upset that Finland came 19th because that was bottom of the pile for me. Bollock or no bollock, it didn't improve it one iota for me.
I was pleased for Ireland. That was definitely well-deserved result. I'm glad to see Ireland back in the competition, taking a risk and it paying off.
Yes, that's one that you definitely need to see the staging for. Yeah.
Let's ask a genuine question to the panel on this, because I think Ireland's a good stopping point on this. Now, Ireland had their best result since 2000. In 2000, they came 6th. It was Eamon Toll, Millennium of Love. If anyone feels like they've got stomach trouble and need something to kind of help, shift stuff, I recommend listening to it a couple of times over. It will genuinely induce something. But when Doomsday Blues was selected as the Irish entry this year, Sean, did you actually envisage this doing as well as it did?
I thought the song had a lot of potential. I really did. And I knew it would qualify. And I was hoping that Ireland would come out with something magical and spectacular for it. And they did. And Barbie Thug performed it amazingly. It was a work of art from the very first note to right to the end. It was captivating. It was exciting. It was interesting. It was just spectacular. And I'm so pleased for Ireland. Really pleased. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Oh dear, he's off. And he's off. Nick, let's come to you. Your views on Ireland?
I have to agree with Sean. Actually, the staging really, really warmed my heart. That is the way you do staging at Eurovision, because at the national final, I thought I was looking at a school musical going off the rails. It didn't do anything for me, and I was like, oh my god, is this going to save Ireland in Eurovision? But when I saw at the pre-parties, when she had every time another costume and she had a vision and she was stunningly beautiful in so many different ways, then I had hope. But
can I just remind everyone the non-binary, so it's they. I may have made the same mistake. I can't remember, but just appears to be. Sorry.
You are absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I'm so sorry. I have to think in 2 different languages, and then all been known by rating. I will work it out. They were amazing, but then the staging has to be on point, and I didn't quite sure what Ireland was all about on the staging. They had a few misses when they tried too hard with Leslie Warrior a few years ago, where they had excellent staging, but the vocals were not on par, and I didn't know how it would turn out, but I was really, really amazed by it. And I clearly can remember this is how you turn into a horrible song into a masterpiece.
Yeah, do you know what? I'd go with that. Elliot's put in the chat room, if we can pull that up. Ian said the jury's mark off a certain list. Top of it is the originality of the composition of the song. And let's face it, original, this most definitely was.
Sorry, if that's the case, the top of the jury list is originality. You're not telling me that anyone's ever sang a song about, no, these aren't our drugs, mate, we've never seen them before in our life, while doing, why then do the juries not think that that was an original song?
Michelle, are you bitter about Estonia still?
Yes, I am.
Do you not think that Bambi Thug just did originality better than Estonia did? He just kind of went like that a bit with their arms.
Yeah, well, you do that as well if you were on drugs.
I mean, but it was like, and apologies, this is like a breakfast TV reference from like 30 years ago. It was like Mr. Motivator on acid. Just kind of going, everyone, let's kind of do it.
Bambi Thug, they were brilliant, absolutely brilliant. It was perfection. You need to see the staging rather than just listen to the song.
I'm glad as well that there's some effort was put into the staging, because when you watch Eurosong on RTE,
it's shocking.
It's all a little bit low budget, poor sound. The acts clearly can't hear themselves singing, but they really, really brought out the big guns for the actual.
Thank you
Eurovision.
very much, Ireland.
Yes,
they were superb, and there are a few comments here. ESC Manga, Ireland deserved to be in the top 10. Bambi Thug was amazing. Dan says, was Ireland staging the best of the night? Yes, I personally think so. And then there's one comment, where is it? Lee, just above that. Hopefully Ireland is back now. That's an interesting question, because further up on our comments list, John actually says, Ireland smashed it out of the park. There was no RTE involvement in that. So let's go to Mick on this one, because you were in the arena. You were in Malmö last week. What are RTE going to do next year? Are they going to try and find another Bambi Thug, or are they basically going to do the same thing and hope the same thing happens twice?
I believe that Bambi Thug is a one-off. It was a jaw-dropping moment in the arena, but I do know that it is the Marmite song, I think, of the competition, because while I was out there, my travelling companion and quite a few other fans who I was speaking to, they hated it. I absolutely adored it and loved it. It was, I will never forget that moment when I saw it in its full glory. And hats off to Bambi Thug. They had obviously a lot of input. The artists themselves had a lot of input, how they wanted it, how they designed it. And I think RTE definitely had a hands-off kind of approach and just let Bambi Thug and their team just go with it. And I think hats off to them for allowing that. I don't think lightning will strike twice. We do know that, where sometimes the country does, knocked it out of the park one year. The next year, even if it comes good, they seem to go down. It's, snakes and ladders. So I think, I hope Ireland will qualify for the final next year. But how do you follow Bambi Thug? I feel sorry for the person who has to come back you know, after them. It was just, well, I can't say anything else. I just thought it was the absolute, my iconic Eurovision moment ever. I think that was, they were brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And all those people who didn't like Ireland, you're wrong.
There we go. Well, to be fair, I wasn't the greatest fan of the song, but that performance converted me straight away. They were just so good. I was picking up the phone for them all week after that. I mean, it was amazing.
It was just mesmerizing. You just could not take your eyes off the performance, and it was just stunning. Yeah.
Now, guys, let's move on, because from one country that did really well, was it a surprise? Was it it was a disappointment of the night, but was it a surprise of the night when this happened?
Now, United Kingdom, you have received 0 points.
Yes, the UK again providing the bottom of the pile televote result. I mean, let's face it, our televote results are not normally that great. Sam Ryder doing exceptionally well in 2022, but the UK not really doing a lot otherwise. Since most of us are from the UK, let's go to our Netherlands correspondent, because let's face it, Nick, you're the only one that could have voted for us.
And I didn't. Sorry.
Well, I didn't. To be fair, I didn't expect you to. You're dead to us. No, I'm joking.
Well, I was in mourning all weekend, so forgive me.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But where did it go wrong for Ollie in terms of appealing to the public?
Well, to be fair, to add to the Irish thing, where you can go from here, you need someone to have vision. Bambi Thog had that. Sam Ryder had that. He wrote his own song, or I don't know, but he clearly was involved with writing his own song. Ollie did as well. May did, I think. The problem only with May and Ollie both was there was something off. And it was, in both cases, for me, it was the singing. They had a lot of great visuals, but the singing was just not okay. And if you cannot sing that well, and to be honest, Ani is a great entertainer, but he's not that good of a singer, then choose another song where it's not that obvious. And you can do a spin on that, you know. But now it was, I think that went wrong. He was too focused on being gay, being present, being all the staging and everything, but he forgot to sing it good. And so that's what people noticed.
Yeah, I would say fair point. I mean, when he performed in semi-final 1, and it didn't occur in the final, but I did notice there was one bit when he finished a lot of the dancing and he came forward and like his breathing was like, and he was knackered. Elliot said the staging has been slammed as a lust, I'm assuming it's vanity fueled project. Speaking of staging, I mean, Ian and Donna, you are our staging experts. You do technical stuff. As about as much as I'm prepared to say in terms of, you know, technical stuff, because I don't have the lingo. But you know, could he have done anything to pick up any televotes? Could that staging have been better?
My suspicion is it's a similar problem that hit Lizzie Roy with Ireland. It was too busy. There was too much going on and too much to think about during the performance. But from what I've seen from Ollie's background, I don't know his work that well, but he's very much a live performer with a band. This was a very, very tight, awkward choreography. Had to be very precise, dealing with cameras, very close moves with the other people. And that's hard to do. And this is where as Roy probably came unstuck, there was too much for her to do during that staging when Ireland did it. I thought the staging was brilliant for that, looked amazing. Too much going on.
Yeah.
And Eurovision it's the Eurovision Song Contest. It's about the song and about the performance. The presentation, the other stuff is the clever stuff you put around it to add on. If that starts to detract from the performance, the vocal performance, fucked it.
Yeah.
And I think that's where those. I think it was just a bit too fussy as well. They were doing the clever tricks with the camera to make it look like it was on its side. I think just a bit too much.
And again, it's not a vision that I ever thought would be for that song. You know, I mean, Bambi's worked well because you knew it's Buffy the Vampire Slayer on steroids. You know what I mean? It had a proper theatrical staging that worked well for the story that she had. This one, I just didn't ever expect to see sweaty boxing gym showers, you know, for this song.
And to be fair, not a very nice boxing gym shower either, to be honest.
No, and oddly enough, it looked a bit like the room I was staying in, but I stayed in one a lot cleaner.
I think there was a comment when the video, the first stage of song, somebody made a comment that you need to get some Vim on that.
Yeah,
give it a good clean.
Yeah, so I don't know. For me, the two individually, the song itself is all right. The staging itself is okay, but you put the two together and they don't work. So I don't know whether it was Ollie's vision or something was amiss. Nice try, but no cigar.
Yeah, I think they just tried too hard. It's the fundamental problem.
Yeah, I think it's a good point. I mean, let's pull up on some comments from the chat room here. We'll start here. Lee says we got televote points last year. Remember, Ollie was nowhere near as bad as May was, and that's probably why, to be fair, Ollie was rated so highly by the jury, because again, different set of criteria. We did get 8 points from at least 2 juries, I think possibly even 3, actually, as a part of those 46 points. Another point from John, if we can pull that up, the song didn't change. It didn't give any oomph like a used Nemo or Baby Lasagna. They succeeded because of the changes. And I think there is a lot to be said. I mean, when I was talking about it with some of my people in work and things like that, they said the thing is that song just doesn't go anywhere. He released a 20-second preview. Once you'd heard that 20 seconds, to be fair, you probably heard the whole song, to be honest. And then Dan says just below that, I think the BBC try too hard sometimes. The staging less is more. And Lee again chipping in. Kudos for the BBC taking a risk, though instead of having basic staging and playing it safe. And yes, to be fair, it was nice to actually have the staging as a talking point. We'll go to Sean first. Sean, obviously you were a massive supporter of Ollie. Do you agree with some of the criticisms there?
I do, yeah. I mean, you know, I can't deny the vocal was not great. You know, it wasn't a brilliant vocal on the night. So, I mean, what can you say about that? The choreography maybe was just a little bit too intense for him to be able to concentrate on his vocal performance. I think the staging concept is fantastic. I think it was really, really clever and really entertaining. But did that detract from the song? Are you too busy looking at, oh, look, he's hanging off the wall. How is he upside down, to actually notice the song? And I just sympathise in a way with the BBC, because no matter what we do, they get pulled upon the fact that the staging's not good enough, or the staging's too good, or do you know what I mean? We can never seem to get it right. Is it a case again of that old chestnut, nobody likes the UK? Well, I think that's been proven wrong, because obviously Sam Ryder almost won it. So I don't think that's the case as well. My neighbour came round and had a chat with me a couple of days ago, and she's got a young daughter, and she watches the show every year with her daughter, and she had to turn it off this year, and she turned it off in the middle of Ollie's performance, and because of the shall we say, there was one point it looked like there was simulating sex, where they were riding each other, and they say, what are they doing, mummy? So do you know what I mean? I don't think, you know, in certain parts of Europe, maybe it went down very, very well either. So I can understand maybe the nil points from the public, and it's such a shame. And I think if they'd staged it a little differently, they could have still done the same concept. But do the dancers need to be half naked? Do they need to be sticking out tongues all the time, which is completely off-putting for a lot of people? May Muller did it. She was sticking a tongue out on the video wall. Remember Gemini, just before he came on, and he stuck his tongue out at the camera. People don't like it. So please, BBC, whoever represents us next year and the year after, don't stick your bloody tongues out.
Or look like you're about to cast a Patronus like Lucy Jones did in 2017.
I don't know. Let's just have a really good song and a really good singer and something just stunning to look at rather than too messy and complex. Please.
I think it says a lot that Bambi Thug is appropriate for a child and Ollie Alexander is not.
Well, it's strange you should say that, because I judge everything by what my 5-year-old grandson likes. And Bambi Thug scares the shit out of him, and he does not like it. And even if you say it to him, he's like, no. He will have none of that. Yet he can sing Nemo practically from start to finish. So,
Mick, you were in the arena. Obviously, you didn't see all the camera trickery and stuff like that. You may have seen a backstage thing, but I mean, what did it look and sound like in the arena?
Well, I had two viewpoints. I had the standing stage, for one performance, and that came across really, really well. And in the arena, it seemed to get a good reaction. You know, there didn't seem to be anything that was overtly wrong with it. You know, everybody did quite like it. I was sitting up in the gods for another performance, and until the last fifth, you couldn't see anything because the screen was blocked by all the stuff down the sides of the arena, it was like, well, we can hear it and it sounded okay, but we couldn't see it, and then when they came out on the stage, you'd lost the input. Well, I'd never thought I'd hear the thing that, banning tongues, I mean, what am I going to do in my life, and let's all know, people, there are other cleaning products available.
Also true. Right. And let's just give a special mention here, John, but at least it wasn't two trumpets. Absolutely right. I think the BBC have definitely learnt their lesson from putting two giant polystyrene trumpets on stage next to a man in a rather unflattering piece of clothing. James Newman, you were hard done by.
Can I just say, Tom, that I read somewhere, obviously in the ether of the interweb thing, somebody said that Ollie should have had Nemo staging because it was dizzy, spinning round and round, and he should have been on that little disc going round and round and round.
It really didn't go with the song, because the song was like a love song to a single person, and yet the staging was like several people.
He wasn't loving just one person.
No, in what looked like one of the sets for one of the Saw movies.
And I think we'll come back to that, because I think, and this is why I think Nemo has been so well received by everyone, because they are they have a song that is relevant, they embrace their queer identity without perhaps making it overtly let's face it, making it overtly seedy, because that's basically what the UK performance was, and also that persona, that very family-friendly persona that proves that the Eurovision Song Contest is a family-friendly show. And this was a family-friendly show. In the same view that when other queer icons have been successful, such as Dana International in 1998, and when Conchita won it 10 years ago in 2014. The performances may have shown off certain aspects of their identity, but still had that family-friendly aspect at the heart of it. Now, we've mentioned Nemo, but let's take a look. Let's have a rundown. The top 3 in this year's contest. Ready for discussion. Let's run VT.
You need 183 points to win. 226 points! The winner, the champion of the Eurovision Song Contest 2024. It is Switzerland!
Nemo there, not just breaking the code, but breaking the trophy as well. This year's Eurovision Song Contest winner. Phil and Michelle, did you predict it?
Yeah.
I certainly thought that one was a well-deserved winner.
Yeah.
To be honest, the fact that the staging and the choreography was quite complex to do. You know, the timing and everything was really involved. They had to be in the right place at the right time. There's one point they were spinning around, leaning back, but they never missed a note. They sang it absolutely perfectly. And to do that as well, and it's not an easy song to sing. There's some really high notes, there's some really fast rapping, but they never missed anything. It was absolutely fantastic. It was definitely well deserved certainly on the performance.
Yeah.
It wasn't necessarily my favourite song, but the performance was fantastic.
Obviously, Estonia was your favourite.
Well, yeah, but we've got over that now. Let's move on.
I thought that they absolutely note perfect. Every time we've seen them all over the place, they just do it at the drop of a hat, and it's just effortlessly. There's no not even like a before they start. It's just off you go, crack on, and they just do, and it's fantastic how easy it is. And we've met them. It's so nice, going on and on, and we want to go for his tea, obviously, you know. And they're just going, no, it's fine, you know. No, but I'm really hungry. Look at me, I'm fat.
They took the time with us, and we had a selfie with them.
Yeah.
They were lovely.
So nice. So they're so cute. They're so lovely. They're so personable, and just so happy. And grandkid can sing it, so that's when you know that that's a winner. Yeah, but you could sing Cha Cha Cha, to be fair though, and that didn't work out very well.
Oh, it came second.
Well, yeah.
Well, I don't want to know how many bagpussers died to make that jacket.
Yeah, but Nemo is very environmentally friendly. I don't think they would have seen many bagpussers.
I think bagpuss probably died of natural causes, so it'd be fine.
A very long time ago.
See, yeah, sort of coming there about Croatia. Croatia was good, but I think Nemo was better. Croatia was a fan favourite.
I was going to say, I feel slightly smug about Croatia because I do believe I mentioned many times when people said about Croatia, and I said, yeah, that'll make a very good second place. And I was absolutely right.
Yeah,
Sorry,
even the clock's right twice a day, you know, Tom.
The stop
clock's right twice a day, Tom.
Yeah. I was right about Portugal as well, wasn't I? There we go. Just saying. Portugal. Nick, let's come to you. Right song one?
Absolutely, I think so. But before going to Mimo, can I have a quick shout out to one of the acts that really surprised me this year, which is an act that nobody really talks about or ever had. It's Armenia. I thought that oh, thank you. Yeah, I thought that was such a sparkle of joy in this really difficult tense year when they were singing and just in a non-compromising folklore ethnic song that stayed truly to themselves and to the country they represented. It really gave me hope for next year Eurovision, and I really was very happy that they became at a they ended up at a well-deserving 8th place. Well, that having said, in a year when they're so heavily relied on backing tracks, I was afraid that the people at home didn't realize that Nimu actually sung everything by themselves, which and then me on my Facebook, I give comments on the performance every song, and I really thought that was important to highlight because I thought that was exceptional. They didn't miss a single note, and everything with all complicated tricks. I really thought this was a really deserving winner on every level. The end.
And I have to say, there is some comments in the chat room. There's some love in the chat room for your comments, Nick, as well. Tracy going, Armenia was fab. Lee says, I didn't expect Armenia to be top 10, but well done to them. I can see the appeal from the performance. And Armenia brought the ethnic vibe like the Moldovan train, which I think I take that as a absolute total and utter compliment. So we're saying the right song won. Ian and Donna are nodding there. They also applauded Armenia. I'm gonna go over to them.
What? Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd already said Armenia was one of my favourites a long while back. I mean, I suppose coming from Leicestershire Midlands background, where there's a lot of Asians in our community with a strong Bollywood feel, that was always going to be one of my favourites. And I'm very glad that they did well. They just loved every minute of it on stage, didn't they?
It was such a fun performance. They were loving it. They were playing with the camera. It was joyful.
She stuck her tongue out. She stuck her tongue out on stage.
Yeah. And it was brilliant. I liked the song before, but that live performance was just fabulous. Yeah. Absolute. That was the standout jump up of people for me. The right song won? Yes. Yeah. I think so. I did love the fact that, well, actually, what doesn't get picked up is that Croatia actually came third in the juries. That's pretty solid. That's probably a lot higher than people thought. It's obviously the popular choice. The public vote loved it. He turned that into his own gig in the arena. You hear the audience singing along at the chorus. It's like watching Bon Jovi or something. But that was the closest thing.
And he's donated his prize money from some prize money from the Croatian government to charity as well, hasn't he, this week?
Yes, 2 different charities. So he's now the people's champion.
But I think that when that performance was closest to being like a big live gig.
Yeah.
He had this bit of choreography, but it was mostly just perform the song. Wring every bit of life out of it, and he did it.
Yeah.
But yeah, and Ukraine, good solid 3rd place. They were again. There's been a couple of dark horses in this one that just really well put together songs that just quietly built up good results.
Ukraine was one of those I'd actually forgotten about. Because it seems like an age away since we heard them perform in the national finals, and the song was heavily sort of backed by fans as at least being top 5, so we kind of expected it, and then everything else kind of we forgot about it. And on the night I was kind of like, oh, all right, oh god, yeah, okay. The performance was stunning. They didn't need much set, and they somehow managed to make it gel a bit. There was still sort of like the one character and the other character doing 2 independent things, but still managing to bring it together somehow. And it just looked great. The sense of timing in that was wonderful. The song itself is one of those that you'll end up humming, like, even if you can't do the rap part, you still love the melody of it and things like that. So it definitely had appeal, and it held its own because Ukraine pulled it out of the bag again. They know how to stage these things very well. and have consistently done just what they needed to do to get those top 10 results.
Yeah. And just outside that, you've got France and Italy both hitting top 10. Again, that thing, send a good song with a good singer, do it well, you hit top 10 consistently. That's Italy main thing. But just without getting a big fuss and massive noise behind them, boom, 2 top 10s.
Yeah, and they have done incredibly well. Mick, obviously you were in the arena. Do you think, now we've got top 3, I can't ask everyone if the right song won, so unfortunately you get the difficult question. This seemed to be a year, where essentially a lot of points went to a few songs. Well, there were lots of songs that were very popular there, but if you look at the televoting, it's only when you get to 7th place, to Italy, that you break into the 100 barrier. When you get to the jury, it's only when you get to 9th place, and Armenia, that the jury vote actually breaks the 100 barrier. Is this the way, the televote and the jury is going now? Is that we seem to be, going behind sort of like songs, not just in a small way, but a big way? I mean, this didn't appear to be the open contest that had been touted.
I'm glad it was spread out. The love was spread out. Certainly in the top 10. Me personally, I'm chuffed that Armenia and Portugal got into the top 10, because they were my particular favourites, and there wasn't no kind of runaway winner. Obviously, like last year I was Team Carrier, this year I was Team Croatia, but being in the arena and realising when they got the biggest roar, bigger than Croatia, I think we were on for an upset, and, I think, was it only 50 points or less than 50 points between, first place and second? And so exciting, voting sequence. And I had no idea who was going to win. I'm glad in the end Nemo did win, but I still wanted Croatia to win. And I'm afraid I'm going to be a Debbie Downer. Ukraine, I'm sorry. No. How the hell that came third, I've no idea. I'm not a great fan of rap. Nemo did the right amount of rap. It was about 2 seconds, I think. I think Ukraine are going to, not qualify one year. And I honestly thought this year was the year, because I just didn't get it. I was watching it and I was appreciating it, but I just wasn't getting the love. But obviously, I'm
sorry, Mick. I kind of got the kind of Ukrainian love, because it was too similar to Jamala.
Well, I didn't like that either. So,
well, there you go. It was Jamala 2.0. And to be fair, I suppose this time round, the Ukraine got the placing I think it deserved on the basis of the song, because apologies to any Ukrainian fans out there. I always thought the Ukraine was the 3rd best song of 2016, but they've changed the voting system. And basically, because it was so tight up there, you had Russia topping one vote, you had Australia topping the other, and it was absolutely right. I picked it from the word go that the Ukraine would just literally just sail just above them and take the win. Whereas this time round, I think the system's been in place for longer, and I think people are more wary of that now. And obviously, Nemo got an absolutely thumping jury vote, the highest jury vote ever. And beat the number of 12 points, given the highest number had been to Salvador in 2017. But Nemo beat that on Saturday.
Can I just say, I do think that people always scream that we need to change the voting system, but they only do that when their favourite song doesn't win. And then when your favourite song does win, oh no, it's all fine.
People say,
oh no, people say, oh no, we need to scrap the juries. because they wanted the televote
until the UK topped the jury vote. In which case, when we go, oh no, do you know what? Maybe we're a bit hasty with that.
Yeah.
But what happened? Right, the people of Europe get 20 phone votes. They get 20, so they can do 20 for one person, and that's that. What if we only gave them 10 votes? And they had to vote for 10 different people if they wanted to use all their 10 votes. You can only vote for one person once and then see how it pans out. What do you think to that? Because I've heard there's a job going, Martin Ostrichdahl's going to quit.
Me personally, I don't think it would make much difference because I think
it
people
would,
always
because
may
you'd be
try and
voting
find a
for
way
10
around it.
different people.
Well, no, because people will always find a way around it. So people
No,
will just
not
use
that
10
many
different
people.
phone numbers.
No, not
People
that
will
many
just-
people. Not that many people. But even if you change the number, unless you've got 10 different phones, you're stuffed, aren't you? One phone number can only vote for one thing once, but you can have 10 different votes.
Well, I did wonder why you and Phil did pull out an array of mobile devices on Saturday night to vote for Estonia.
No, that was just the Estonian drug deals going down.
I don't think.
Unfortunately, didn't
I'm
do very
trying
well.
to sort of flashbacks. I don't think I voted for anybody, did it?
No.
Oh,
No, I
God.
don't think you did. The fact that you don't know that is also quite amusing as well.
Yeah.
Sean, we've left you out in the cold. I feel like we've ignored you for a little bit too long. Your final thoughts on this year's winners?
Oh, you know what? Nemo, what an absolute start. To have that level of vocal control whilst you're running around like an idiot. Because let's face it, they were up and down and jumping off things and sliding down things. And it was staggering. Just because I don't know if any of you've seen the video on TikTok, which is basically just the bare vocals stripped out. And they are literally note perfect. It is just brilliant. Hats off to them because they really, really deserve that victory. Really, really deserve that victory. And it just also goes to show that all the viewers of ESC Fan TV get it right because they voted Nemo best song of the year in our ESC Fan TV awards as well. So well done, everybody there. So yeah, absolutely delighted. And, brilliant, fantastic, well done.
Hey.
Maybe we should just pick the winner using our poll then next year.
Yeah. Yeah, just tell them to scrap the whole thing. We'll just use our poll.
Not with the amount of hate we got for our poll, we can't use it.
Oh, that good, hey. Guys, we are coming to the end of the show. Obviously, Switzerland winning the first time since 1988. But they do love a bit of a close contest, don't they? Let's not forget Celine Dion winning by just 1 point to another country like the United Kingdom. But you never know. Nemo could be as big as Celine Dion. I think we certainly haven't seen the last of Nemo, and that's good because we would love to see more of Nemo. Guys, what can I say to you all? Start saving, because Switzerland's going to be expensive next year. Either that or find somewhere just across the border from Switzerland and pop your way across. You have been fantastic company this evening as we have gone through and done this. And I have to share, some of these comments. Lee has just said, do we think Celine will make an appearance in next year's contest? I suspect not, somehow. But even better, John said in another reality, Scott Fitzgerald did Titanic, which I think is just a brilliant comment. And I don't know who this guy is. Justice for Scott Fitzgerald. I don't know. Anyway, guys, you've been fantastic company from the evening. The party is over. It's done. It's dusted. We've dissected the party, and ESC Fan TV will return and there will be news on our social media channels about that. Don't forget, follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Mastodon, Facebook. We are there. Catch up on our shows from this season on YouTube as well. And, you know, guys, we wish you a very, very peaceful off season. We'll be back soon. Can't get rid of us that easy. But in the meantime, it's a lovely goodbye to Ian and Donna. That way. Oh yeah, Ian and Donna.
Cheerio.
Que sera for now.
Till the next time.
It's a goodbye to Nick.
Tot de volgende keer.
And goodbye to Mick.
Good night, everybody. Eurovision will survive. Eurovision goes on, and Eurovision will enrich our lives for many years to come.
Amen to that, brother. And also, goodbye. And you know what? A big thank you, because like Sean's been doing the videos, including like our updated title sequence and everything all year. Sean has been absolutely fantastic. And so a massive, massive big thanks to Sean.
Oh, you're very, very welcome. Love being part of it. And yeah, we'll be back really soon. Thank you.
Yeah. And finally, but by no means least, a massive thank you to Phil and Michelle, who this year, quite frankly, have organised us within an inch of our lives, making sure we know when the shows are going on. Michelle in particular literally has a social media. She knows about social media a lot more than she ever did back at Christmas. I mean, Michelle now actually calls it TikTok as opposed to the TikTok. I mean, that's progress. But a massive, massive thank you to Michelle and Phil.
Thank you very much. Please send us money for Switzerland. Thank you.
Yeah. Start saving now.
Yeah, if you want to see us in Switzerland, you're going to have to pay up.
Yeah. Just point out, it's twice as expensive as Croatia, but there we go.
I've heard that there is a joint Switzerland/Liechtenstein movement going on.
St. Gallen, wasn't it? Yeah.
And we've been to Liechtenstein, and Liechtenstein is only there to make Switzerland look reasonable.
Yeah, don't get too excited about the joint Liechtenstein and St. Gallen bid.
£15 for a small glass of wine.
Yeah, if you're looking to stay over the border,
don't choose Liechtenstein.
It's not all about the alcohol, you guys. Anyway, guys, I knew that I'd get a reaction. Guys, this has been ESC Fan TV covering Eurovision 2024. Enjoy the off season. We'll be back soon. But from all of us, it's ta-ra for now. Bye-bye.